everybody, what's up? Thank you so much for watching GoaCast. I'm Ankita Pahwa, and this is a very, very special episode because with me right here is Prajakta Kohli.
Hello, Ankita.
How did I do?
You did very, very well.
So, how are you?
I am good. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And right now, I am on the top of the world. So, thank you so much for sparing the time to do this.
No,
actually,
not at all. Thank you.
Prajakta, if not you, I don't know who is the queen of adaptability. So, radio, then OTT, big screens, the movies, climate activist, and then you moved on to a to-be author. Congratulations.
Aspiring being the key word. Yeah.
A to-be author. So my first question is, what role do you think adaptability as a mindset have to play in all of these transitions?
I feel like with the kind of jobs that we have, now you do this. There is no formula. There's no one short way of getting through this roller coaster that our jobs are as digital creators, social activists, if you may, actors, writers, I don't know, creative producers, editors. When you're a creator, you're doing all of this together. So over the past 9 years, I've been doing this for over 9 years now. The past 9 years, the one thing that I realized works for sure is being open to change, is being open to newer challenges, even if you fail the first few times. That's what happened. Radio, I failed the first time and quit. But everything else, with YouTube, I had no clue what I was doing for a very, very long time. With even when opportunities to be an actor came through, honestly, I used to do theater back in college, and then that was that, But when Dimple came to me for Mismatched, when that character sketch came to me for an audition, I felt very, very overwhelmed. But I knew that this was a new thing. I knew that this was a change that was coming up.
Khayali Pulao was before that.
Khayali Pulao released before Mismatched, but we shot Mismatched first.
Oh.
Yeah, I finished season 1 of Mismatched, and then I flew to Haryana to shoot Khayali Pulao. Again, with something like Khayali Pulao, it was so nerve-wracking because I was playing a 16-year-old schoolgirl from Jhajjar in Haryana.
So cute.
Thank you, but I had never been to that place. I had absolutely no kind of context to any of it. So I think just being open to change and open to mistakes and telling yourself that you're never gonna, it's okay if you don't get it right the first time.
So
Helps with just staying afloat.
So, every time you decided to branch out into a new platform, into a new area, was there any unsaid, unspoken prep that you went through internally in your mind, in your head?
How to prep? You can only prep for something you know. Like if I knew what I was getting into, I would be prepped. I'm winging it every single day. I have absolutely, on most days, like I said on the panel, I'm so blissfully aware about most things that I'm doing. So I don't think I have enough knowledge, experience, or the wisdom to even prep for this.
Okay.
I'm leaning on my writers, my directors, my producers.
So another reason that I firmly believe that you are the queen of adaptability is because the pandemic. You were so used to shooting your Thursday videos with a proper green screen with a proper team, but the lockdown disrupted all of that.
Yeah.
But you still powered through, and how you still managed to serve us the best content. So, as a creator, any tips, any secret sauce on how to make these transitions so beautifully and so seamlessly as you did in such challenging situations? Like no one thought a lockdown could happen.
I think it goes back to just that, being open to change and not being scared of making mistakes, I think, is the one thing that has really worked for me. The lockdown was weird because I had been spoiled before the lockdown. I used to make content in my room all the time, and then I started shooting with a team for 3 years. And then I was back to making content in my room, and I realized that I am so spoiled and I'm so handicapped in the way that I cannot function if I don't have my team. So what I like about my job is that it constantly keeps you on your feet, right? Yeah. The fact that the minute I got comfortable with shooting with the team, there was this situation where then I had to up my skills with editing again, pick up on shooting properly again, writing the way I was again, doing everything by myself. As soon as that got over, I started working as an actor, which was again a completely new universe. I was thrown out of my comfort zone complete. So I think as long as you don't get comfortable in the sense that you lose touch, I think you're fine.
And you even managed to shoot a diss track. Yeah. So that was amazing. That was amazing.
That was quite strange. I did a lot of weird shit in the lockdown.
So now that you are doing all these other amazing things, and YouTube has taken sort of a backseat. Do you miss creating those sketches? Do you miss making your Thursday videos?
Can I be very honest with you?
Yes, please. This is an honest space.
I really did miss it for a very long time. I haven't created comedy content for 2 years now. And it felt like a gaping hole in the sense that it was what I would wake up every day to do. But that shift was necessary for me because I was reaching comfort. I was reaching a point कि आप मेरे को शूट से 2 घंटे पहले भी बिठा दो, I will come up with a video idea, write a script, have my costumes used to always be in my car. I would find a way of there were days when on Thursday morning I would wake up and I'd be like, what do I shoot today? चलो बना के shoot करके डाल दिया.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I didn't have fun doing it, but I realized that it's not challenging anymore. There's nothing new I'm doing, and how far can I keep doing that? I didn't ever want to reach a point where I hated doing it or I was getting bored of doing it to stop doing it. I wanted to kind of preemptively see how I can change things up. During the lockdown also what happened was that I started writing a lot more. I wanted to go into long form content. Although the whole world still keeps going on and on about short form content, I'm always going to be a fan of long form. I want to do episodic content. I really, really like it. I want longer stories to be told. And with the nature of the beast, I'm sure sometime it'll come back and it'll be great. But I'm glad that OTT is doing what OTT is doing. So I told the team, I said, I want to write more and I want to develop stories and I want to put writers' rooms together and see what I can do with that because I really enjoy writing. I derive a lot of joy from that. So that started. And if I had not taken a break from making my episodic content, I don't think I would have ever gotten to a point that I would even have the guts to spend hours and hours in writers' rooms just trying to develop ideas.
Amazing. So, I still see a lot of comments that we miss our relatability queen, we miss the old Prajakta. Do you think doing all these other amazing things might have costed you the community and the love of the audience that you've built over the years, and do you think that is at the cost of this pivot, of this transition that you have made?
Not my community, no. I've always said this, and that can only be sheer luck. I have been blessed with the best audience who's held my hand through everything. And when you really zoom out a little bit, I've been so close to this idea that you sometimes lose perspective. When you zoom out a little bit, you realize that when I started making Real Talk Tuesday videos 8 years ago, that was also a pivot.
Yeah.
Because people had subscribed to me only for my comedy content. But I started making that. When I started making songs, I mean, who do I think I am? That if I had the guts to write a song, sing it.
You have no idea how many times I have watched Shameless.
I apologize profusely. But just to get the guts to do something like this was also a pivot. It was a challenge. But my audience was there for me. They liked it. They supported it. I would not have done a Khayali Pulao if I didn't have my audience to lean on, which was again a pivot. The fact that today Mismatched happens to be such a wildly, touchwood, successful show for Netflix India. We've gone into season 3. I'm hoping and praying that this doesn't stop. Could not have happened without an audience who took that subscription, who went to see it. Again, a very large pivot from my YouTube content. So I feel like that there is that risk, but they have been with me through this all.
Yeah.
And thanks to social media, the engagement stays, the connection kind of stays. I think 6 weeks ago, so about 2 months ago, I started uploading Real Talk Tuesday videos again, which I have forgotten to upload this week as we speak. But we'll do a Sawal Saturday video tomorrow. But I think just the fact that these tools kind of work, and I was 21 when I started making content. I'm going to be 31 next month. Is it June already? Today's 31st. It's Mama's birthday. In June, I'm going to be 31. I will also not be true to my evolution as a person, as a creator, and to my audience's evolution as my community if I keep giving them the same thing I was doing 9 years ago. It's scary 100%. But again, a lot of my confidence comes from their support. So I'm okay for now.
You announced your book
Yeah.
on your birthday last year.
Yeah.
So spill some tea. We know it's a romance novel, but what
tea-
else?
What tea can I spill? So it's a story about Aman and Avni. And it's being published by HarperCollins, which is again such a dream for me because there's so many titles that they
Yeah.
edit and publish that I've been such a huge fan of. So when this kind of went through, it was mad. So yeah, that's all I'm allowed to say. But you'll hear more on my birthday this year.
Amazing. We
on
are
the
all looking forward
27th.
to that. And thank you so much for being here. That,
you,
guys,
Ankita.
was mostly sane for you all.
Thank you.